a chance to speak to the powerful. My colleague Morgan Chesky has the governor of Minnesota, Governor Walz, right now standing by. Let's go there.
And you saw this scene for the first time. Governor Walz, I'm curious to know, showing up here today, what hit you first?
Well, I think first of all on this is that there's many emotions that run both for my wife and I as human beings with a 13-year-old, and that I'm very conscious of being the governor in this of a white politician appropriating black pain is one of the most horrific things, and I'm very difficult trying to rectify that. But I think for me to understand this from a human perspective, I have got to see it personally, and it's just really hard. I mean, I know, and I just candidly said this, I'm not sure we get another shot at this as a country. And being a product of middle America white guy, and, you know, thankfully being around, and my wife and I as teachers, and I think a lifetime of trying to work on the right thing, but that's a sheltered place where it's not so visceral. And seeing that a lot of America, I think, is that way. I mean, they want to get this right, but I don't think the breaking point in this flash that's happened, we knew this was there. We knew these were problems. This is George Floyd and all those other names, and I think I feel the sense of responsibility with community and being surrounded by them. If it doesn't happen now, and I said this yesterday, the anxiety people are feeling when nighttime falls, they're really nervous about that. Well, that's the anxiety people feel driving black. That's the anxiety that's there all the time. And I think maybe for the first time, people are starting to put those two things together, that daily life just existing is hellish anxiety because you're existing black. And I get it as a white man who's walked through with life's pretty damn easy, that the one thing is being able to open those doors. And so I think coming here for Gwen and I, it's just the human side and the emotional side. I was mentioning, it's both the curse and the blessing. I have become dear friends with the mothers of who've lost their sons. We would have never probably crossed paths because of the differences of just in life, but we are now, and I still struggle with that. I see it, and it becomes that way. So I wanted to come down here today, and I appreciate all of you on this, that the story truly has to be about George Floyd and what we're doing, but I do, but I understand that.
Governor, you walked up, you spoke to those community members here one by one, and then you walked to the middle of that intersection, took a piece of chalk, knelt down, and you wrote "Justice Now." For where you're standing right now, what is justice?
Well, it's broader. There's the justice for George Floyd and his family, and that's the moment in time. But the much broader piece of that is the reforms that people are asking for. I think the things that we saw were incremental movements. There's no time for that. I'm someone who's a realist. I served in Congress. I understand that it takes progress, it takes building, and then there's movements, and then there's times when history seismically shifts, and no one's looking for incremental change. If they see us put a little bill together that does something with some housing assistance or something, we know this is about housing, we know it's about education, we know it's about healthcare disparities. If those are not coming together, I don't know. I don't see how this is not replicated. So,
I know you wanted to keep things private in this visit today, so I just want to thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. I can feel your compassion, and I appreciate both of you for coming out here today and just sharing where Minnesota, but more importantly, kind of where the nation can go from here when they look to this city and this intersection.
This is where it has to begin, and again, I would close. Please accept my deepest apologies. I think it undermined trust in the country. I think the dangerous nature of the rhetoric around the press has made this even easier to happen, and for me to be a part in it the wrong way pains me deeply. So thank you for your understanding.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So sorry again.
Thank you, Gwen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.